All right, guys, welcome in. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. Man, things are running a little shaky here. I could even share the stream out to the Above Ground World News page. Anyway, guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into. We got freak storms coming in. We got governments using sonic weapons to keep kids out of parks. We're in a 9 out of 10 for major earthquake warnings. I mean, it just keeps on going. Anyway, let's jump right into this article. We got so much stuff to cover. I got to get rid of some of these tabs. Philadelphia attacked for using sonic weapons to keep the kids away from the parks. City officials in Philadelphia are under attack for their increasing use of an acoustic deterrent described by local councilwoman as a sonic weapon to keep the city's children and young adults away from certain recreational areas at night. The mosquito, invented in the UK back in 2005, is described by the product's Canada-based North American distributor as a small speaker that produces a high-frequency sound much like the buzzing of an insect. This high frequency can be heard by young people between 13 and 25 years old and can reach up to 130 feet. So your hearing gets bad with age, so the older you get, you can't hear these frequencies. So they could be attacking your kids and you wouldn't even know it. You wouldn't be able to hear it. So just crazy stuff going on out here, guys. This is the New World Order. Lexington Emergency Management. Oh no, my batteries just went dead. Hang on, guys. Let me swap this battery out so I can hear what I'm talking about. Now here in Missouri, I'll try to keep talking as I do this. Here in Missouri, we just had a big earthquake deal to get ready for the new Madrid going off. And then they also had we did an Ebola scare thing here in Missouri. So just a lot of weird stuff going on. Now Illinois and Kentucky and other states are preparing for these big earthquakes. So all this is going on. They're ramping stuff up. We're seeing these storms that are blowing up like this insane stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this. I showed you last night of the road completely being devastated up in Michigan. And I might be able to show that again. Let me see if I can show that. Let me see if I can open that up. I got some new photos again today. They have seismograph monitors on the road. So let me see if I can dig this up. If not, we'll get back to it. Yeah, I was trying to get ready, man, and everything was just freezing up. So you just got some nights you guys got to bear with me, man. We're flying by the seat of our pants trying to get this show up and running every night. Some nights it's just not going to be super fast. So now I got to remember where I put them. So just give me 1 second here. I hate, having dead time, dead air when I'm trying to get this going. It's not letting me see the photo, so I don't know which one is which. Are you kidding me? All right, here, we'll get back to that. So they're saying here, this is the Lake News Online. This is coming out of my neighborhood. They're saying months of aftershocks could follow the big California earthquake. How do they know? How do they know? Is it magma on the move? What's going on? We had the discrepancies in the seismographs. Here's another article. The big one is coming. California earthquakes ignite Yellowstone supervolcano fears. This is coming out of Australia. Australia hardly ever reports on anything, hardly like the floods or, anything like that. So California uncanny earthquake pause is over. It should have already had several big ones by now. All that pressure has to go somewhere. Now geologists are nervously eyeing 8 nearby volcanoes. And why has Yellowstone been acting so weird? So anyway, yeah, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this stuff. We got too much stuff to cover. Bacteria closes all of the Mississippi Gulf Coast beaches. So we have a toxic outbreak, popularly known as the blue-green algae, and it continues to spread on the Gulf Coast. So I have to wonder, what's this storm going to do with this algae? When you look at the patterns of the flow of the currents and stuff, it's like the whole Gulf of Mexico is being bypassed, which we'll get into that a little later in the show. So the whole Gulf of Mexico is turning stagnant. Plus you have all the toxic waters from the floods coming in there. So everything is just looking worse and worse. Here's an aerial photo of the crack that opened up by the epicenter. So yeah, it's pretty crazy right there. You got the before and after pictures. Definitely some things going on there. Yeah, and look at this San Andres San Andreas fault zone on high alert. We're in a earthquake warning, 9 out of 10. When you look at the magnetopause, you'll see why. We got hit with the wave of energy, and it's completely crushing the magnetosphere that's already weak from the solar minimum. But anyway, yeah, that's right. No fear, man. We have the light on our side. We never fear this stuff. We just look it in the eye and we keep going. So yeah, we've had a pretty good little KP index there. I'm not going to go too much into this. But the solar wind speed is definitely picking up. It's just slowly going up and up and up. So yeah, I just want to scroll down through here. Probably the more I get these closed out, the better the internet will run. But I wanted to go down and look at the Schumann resonance. We got some surface charging going on right over Africa. Here's the geomagnetic activity from the 9th going into the 10th. This is kind of like an all-in-one here. I don't have all the good ones I wanted to look at, but it's got a few here. But yeah, if you go look at the magnetopause, I couldn't get it to come up, man. I was wasting so much time before the show trying to get the program to come up. It just wouldn't come up for me. I want to go down here and take a look at the Schumann resonance. And look, we got a huge spike going on there. We got some crazy stuff going on with the Earth. All right, I'm done with that. Let's get that thing off there. Now, everybody here knows that we track and cover all the weather engineering programs, all the companies, and we try to show you who and what's doing it. And, you know, they had to come up with a new way to categorize the atmospheric rivers. We talk about the companies that steer the rivers in the sky, just like they steer the rivers on ground by building dams and levees and all that. Well, they also steer the rivers of the sky. And we're actually going to have one of the weather modification guys on here in a couple weeks. And we'll get their side of the story. So yeah, they got a new scale here to categorize the strength and impacts of the atmospheric rivers. I'll try to get all these links in the description here before the show's over. We basically just look at the mimic map, same thing. So right here we can just kind of click these. And it may not work because the internet is really sucking right now. Yeah, now it's not even moving for me. All right, yeah, we'll get into this later. We'll get into some of the maps we know that works. We have climate crisis lawsuits expanding worldwide, a global phenomenon to hold governments and corporations accountable. But the problem is they're not factoring in any of the weather engineering programs, even though they're going on in our skies every day worldwide. And we showed you last night about Australia. They have an indefinite cloud seeding program going on. It's been going on since 2012. Let me get some of these closed out as we go. And then we got more problems going on with the food chain here in Louisiana. They're asking for disaster aid for the seafood industry. I mean, this stuff is just going to keep getting worse and worse. Now I want to take you, it's really easy to go do some Google searches. I got thousands and thousands of articles of other companies that do the cloud seeding. Right here, cloud seeding, slight delay due to the California quake. Over in India, they're waiting on their cloud seeding planes to come from California, but they're not going to get there because of the earthquake. So they're being delayed on their weather modification planes. The California earthquake has affected cloud seeding operations in Qatarka. Due to the earthquake, the arrival of the aircraft and other equipment have been delayed, pushing cloud seeding to the 3rd week of July. How about over here in the UAE, over in the Middle East? Boosting rainfall from clouds by 1/3. We notice all these storms are producing, 3 to 10 times more of the amount of rain than normal. Scientists create 52 artificial rainstorms in the Abu Dhabi desert. And this is just the cloud seeding stuff. I'm not even getting into the electromagnetics tonight, not getting into the ionospheric heating, not getting into any of the cloud ionizer antennas that you can rent for your farms or anything like that. I'm not going to get into too much of the radars. But remember, these radars just got upgrades. I mean, billions of dollars worth of upgrades. These things are supposed to last till the 2030s now. They spent $150 million in the 7-year program. It's supposed to complete in 2022. They're just like mini HARP arrays. Here comes out of the Agriculture Defense Coalition. Welcome to the Geoengineering Climate Remediation Current Events. United States House of Representatives, I can't talk, I'm pretty sick today. Representative Science and Technology Committee has agreed to work with the UK Parliament on geoengineering issues starting back in 2009. It's going on. We can look at the world view map. You can go outside and look at your sky. You see these planes leaving the cirrus clouds, which they're man-made cirrus clouds. They're blocking the sun out. They're creating a blanket over the sky. Hey, thanks out there, Christy. Hey, you're back. Much love out there. All right, let's jump into some weather stuff. Anyway, here we are looking at the real-time lightning map. We got some major stuff going on, man. And we'll get into the radars. Remember, I told you guys 2 weeks ago we'd be having tornadoes in South Dakota, North Dakota, and Canada. Guess what? They're right on time, right on target from 2 weeks ago, which we'll get into that here in a minute. Wait till you see these storms blowing up. But hey, I want to take you over here to the worldview map. This is where we can spot a lot of the cloud seeding. Then we confirm it with some of the apps and other stuff like that. But we've been tracking these ship track operations out here in the Pacific. Something always bad happens when these ships are out here. And we got tons of them. You know, the other day they were all out off the Russia coast. They've been in and out from underneath the Aleutian Island chain. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the weather modification ships. All these white lines, these fat lines here. These are kind of running late. But these are not airplanes. These are ships. They're putting out what is called bunker fuel. Some of the most toxic emissions on the planet. And it's creating a blanket to heat up this area, and it seeds the clouds. Like, they have the jet stream completely bypassing the United States. Wait, these storms are running backwards, just like they flooded the Midwest out and made the rivers run backwards. They're doing the same thing. I mean, we have tons of weather programs going on, and I haven't even looked at the radars yet. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. We'll let that clear out. But yeah, these are all these. Even if people don't want to say, hey, that's not cloud seeding, that's just airplane exhaust. Well, we have an issue with the airplane exhaust. It's leaving clouds. It's blocking the solar radiation. Here it is right here, all these long straight lines. We have an issue. We have a pollution issue from the planes. And it's causing the fires to burn faster. It's causing the storms to be more electrified. It's causing the storms to be more severe. They're producing more rain. I mean, these are not normal flight patterns. I showed you a lot of the Flight 24 apps the other day about how, you know, we could pick up the planes that actually say weather modification. They're doing weather modification operations. People could deny this all they want, but we can prove them wrong every day. And what you notice here with this freak storm, we have cloud seeding on the east of Florida and cloud seeding. Remember yesterday there was no cloud seeding going on over Mexico, over the Bajas. Well, guess what? It's here now. And we've seen them use this kind of operation to pull the storms towards the cloud seeding. We've seen it before in Hurricane Florence. They stayed out about 500 miles ahead of the storm the whole way, and they guided it all the way from the Saharas all the way over into the East Coast. It hit right on target. Our forecast was right because we watched them follow it. We followed them drag the thing along, man. It's going on. Let's go ahead and take a look at these storms blowing up. This is just ridiculous. So hopefully this thing will run. It's pretty weird, man. I get all this stuff preloaded, working fine, and then when I start the stream, come over the page, hit play, and now it's not doing a damn thing. It's ridiculous. All right, maybe we'll have to come back to this. I mean, I had this all loaded up. This is so much BS right here. I got to show you that. Here, let's just jump over to this. Check out these storms firing up. They're all running backwards. There's a reason why these storms are running backwards. You can see all the cloud seeding operators. Oh, what did we just have right there? We had some kind of burst of energy. Hold on. Whoa, so something freaked the satellite out. And if that's right after this, okay, so we're definitely going to check the mimic map. That could be from the squeezing of the magnetosphere there affecting the satellites, or it could be something else. You could see the energy being blowed out straight south. And you know, the mainstream, they don't even know what to make of this thing. I mean, it was pretty funny. I just listened to a couple minutes of them earlier today, and them trying to explain the storm had me cracking up. I mean, the storm is no joke, but the way they tried to explain it, this is in no way a tropical system. It didn't come from the tropics. It didn't come from the subtropics. It didn't come from the Atlantic. It didn't come from the Gulf of Mexico. This storm has been steered for over a week. It's come all the way from up in Washington all the way down. It was, it had tornadoes on the ground in South Dakota where they sat there for 30 minutes at a time. This has been a steered pressure system. And it's getting ready to do, wow, what happened to the page? There we go. It's just freaking out again. Yeah, all these storms are being affected. This thing is going to lay out a bunch of rain. And I'm not going to change my forecast because I know it will be right. But man, these storms are blowing up incredibly. And let me put this on the visible. Maybe that'll make it look a little better. See if this thing is loaded. I can't believe this thing is not working. I'm going to have to hit refresh, and this is going to probably suck the stream down. I mean, this is crazy when you see this. So we'll try to get them loaded. And while we're waiting on it, let me see if I can take you back here. And I'm going to show you the bunker fuel operations over the last couple of days. So right now, they're right back underneath. Well, it's kind of hard to see this here. Right underneath Alaska and right there at the border of British Columbia and Washington. Now, let me track this back because they show up worse and worse each day. They're not out here every day. And of course, this map probably won't load either. Wow. The stream's green though. That's good. The stream is in the green. Huh. You guys are saying it's buffering, but I'm all in the green, so hopefully that's not on my end. Here, I'll just, we'll try to do this slow here. I mean, this storm is blowing up like insane. So let me try to get this to go where we can see it good, and then we'll try to zoom in on it. We'll do whatever we got to do to document this. Hey, Raph, much love out there. Yeah, we're just, we got to do this, man. I mean, they're killing us. They're giving us all cancer. They're killing our crops. They're flooding our rivers. They're destroying the planet. They need to be held accountable before it's too late. I mean, it's already getting past the point of no return. Why do you think they want to bring the transhumans in? What do you think they put the Georgia Guidestones up? You think that was a joke? That's no joke. It's like the table of 300, man. That's who rules everything. And we're just the peasants. The storm's going to hit Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia. It's going to hit the whole East Coast, man. This thing's going to just sit here for days. It's going to get Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. It's going to sit out here for quite a while. We'll take a look at the wind maps. We'll take a look at the models. I mean, it was crazy because they changed the model overnight. I've never seen them change it as much as they did. It looked like they flopped the Canadian model with the Euro model. I mean, just like they did a 180 flop. It's pretty crazy. So this thing is going to take a little bit to load. See if this thing is loaded. Man, that's weird. The stream is green, in the green, but everything else is running like crap. Yeah, we're looking at, I don't know what the mainstream's calling for amounts of rain, but I'm looking at about 2 feet of rain. This is going to be, notice every single storm is, it's not half inch, 1/8 inch amounts of rain, a trace of rain. It's inches. Sometimes it's inches per hour, and that's because of all the weather modification programs that are going on. Look at the fires going on still in Alaska. So this is the shipping operations yesterday. All these yellow lines that come from a point and start billowing out. These are the ship tracks, and they're laying the bunker fuel. You had one real long one up here, going right along the border there, right along the coastline. You got them over here right in the center of the Pacific. And the other day, all 100 or so ships out here were right here above the Aleutian Island chain. They got some funky stuff going on out here. Then here's today. So you got a few ships around the low pressure system there, and then you just got a bunch of them here and a few of them over here. We'll check all the wind maps, and we'll be able to tell what they're doing. Look, that map's not even loaded all the way. It's like these guys can't give us, a routine thing every night. They can't get these pictures loaded every night. They got to censor them or something. Yeah, try to keep it clean out there, guys, in the chat. We try not to drop too many F-bombs. Is the only word that I have really blocked in the chat. But we do that because we have a lot of older listeners. We have a lot of new listeners. And we try to talk about on target. What we're talking about right here. Don't bring up other crap, because that just ruins it for new people just coming in here trying to learn what's actually going on. And you got a bunch of people in there blabbing about flat Earth or something, Planet X, you know, whatever it is. This is the weather warfare. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the bunker fuel that's making everybody sick, that's killing all the aquatic life out there. That's what we're talking about. There's plenty of other channels out there talking about the other subjects. This is our job right here, and this is what we're going to stick to right now. I mean, when I'm over on DLIVE, I can talk way more freely. So we definitely have cloud seeding right here off the coast of Orlando. Sometimes you got to click the different layers to get them pulled out. Hey, thanks there, Cheryl, Angela. Yeah, I'm gonna do. Hey, thanks, Susan out there from Clinton. We will. My wife will be calling you soon. We're busy, man. We got a farm. I work a full-time job, and I'm trying to build my house all at the same time, and trying to expose these maniacs up here in the sky. So we got a mass spraying operation up in British Columbia, all over Washington. Washington's getting bombarded, completely bombarded. Oregon, same thing. Nevada, same thing. California's getting waxed. All right, let's see if this thing is working yet. So just watch these storms explode. I mean, they are gonna, look at that, just a super explosion. It's not quite loaded yet. I should look, we're even getting a disturbance on this map. Thanks there, Mike. All right, while this is loading, I'm gonna play a little clip for the new people out there. And this little clip is NASA and DMI talking about how the chemtrails are affecting the climate. The chemtrails are the climate change. Hey, thanks there, Mile High. So here we go. Let me play this clip while I try to get this loaded. Maybe, if it'll do it.
So you just mentioned contrails. So how do the contrails affect or have an impact on the climate?
Right. Well, contrails have a huge impact on climate. And so, in fact, some of the recent modeling work that has come out of DLR suggests that contrails today, just the ones that we're able to see up in the sky, maybe today, this week, this month, have a larger impact on Earth's climate than all of the carbon dioxide emitted by aircraft since the first powered airplane flight. So that's a huge effect. And so even as CO2 accumulates, greenhouse gases accumulate in the atmosphere, the impact of these contrails trapping heat and reflecting sunlight back into space is having a huge effect on the Earth's energy balance. And so
that's right, ladies and gentlemen. They're dumping more particles this week than all of the aviation since the very first plane. That's why our skies are so toxic. That's why we're all have a chest infection. That's why we're all sick. That's why all the plants and the trees and the bugs are dying. Let's get into this a little bit deeper.
The Navy Warfare Development Command tested a new anti-ship missile defense system June 21st through 25th. Pandora Fog consists of shipboard radar-absorbing carbon fiber clouds tested under a variety of at-sea conditions using assets from the U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force. These man-made clouds are part of a layered defense and are capable of preventing a missile from detecting and striking its target.
Have you ever heard such lies? So you're going to create carbon fiber clouds out in the ocean that's supposed to deter missiles. Right. How about that NASA guy there? How about he's admitting right there that they're creating the climate change. They are putting out more CO2 or whatever that he said this week, this month, than all of aviation combined. They are the problem, not our cars. You know, one cruise liner ship puts out 1 million cars worth of emissions a day. Everything's a lie, man. Everything's a lie. But yet they want us to, oh man, this damn thing. They want us to pay for their mistakes. So hopefully we can get this and take a look at this, because this storm is not normal. So right after that weird flash, and this could be because of the magnetopause getting destroyed. I couldn't get that to load. And hopefully, let me see if I can load it now. So give me just a second here. It may not load. I mean, I'm having a hard time tonight with all these programs. Hey, much love out there in the super chat. That definitely help us to keep on fighting, man. It's definitely a war. It's an information war. Hopefully one of these days I'll get to build a website and all that crap. All right, so I'm trying to get this to load. It looks like it's missing frames. We'll just see here. There's no way this thing should not be loaded yet. The screen's been in the green the whole time. Yep, exactly. Pandora's box. All right, we'll see. I can already see a big old fat chemtrail right there over Louisiana. You can see aerosols being deployed down here south of Florida to the east of Florida. And it probably won't run. Oh, there we go. Let me slow it down. It's actually running too fast. All right, so now maybe it ain't running. All right, I can go one frame at a time. But you can see they were cloud seeding. This is the way they're trying to steer it. And then you notice there's a secondary spraying operation down here. So they're going to pull it south and to the west. And it's going to sit here and spin and spin and spin and flood everybody out. Just watch. We can predict the weather more accurate by the aerosols being deployed by the bunker fuel than any radar, because it tells the story. The clouds tell the story. Yeah, this thing's still in the world. How about this one? Try to speed it up a little bit. Are you kidding me? It's like maybe so many people are on here looking at this thing, it's just not wanting to go. This is ridiculous. It's just more targeting. They're probably in here pinging my computer, even though I got all the blockers and everything on here. Alright, just trying to, I only have a couple tabs up. The stream is actually holding down pretty good. Yep, and I cannot get the magneto pause to load. Something is going on here. They're not wanting me to show you guys this stuff. Because normally we don't have this kind of problems. You know, once in a while we will, but not this bad. So it's missing some stuff here, man. It's just, it's not running smooth. So I'm trying to get it to slow down because it's like it's missing frames now. All right, man, this is hacking me off. Let's go take a look at the radars. See if there's anything going on with the radars. Yeah, the whole South's going to get flooded. If you didn't watch the 16-day forecast, you might want to go back and watch that from Sunday. That's the day. Hey, thanks there, Babu. So the whole, you know, we gave out a warning pretty much from the whole southern, you know, part of the United States and then all the way up to East Coast. It depends on, we'll go take a look at the tracks that they're providing now. But regardless of how they change, they always end up the original track. It's the weather plan. So I'm not seeing too much freaky stuff going on with this. So that's probably a good thing. Yeah, nice crowd out there. Much love out there. Over 1,000 here on YouTube. I haven't looked over on DLIVE or Facebook or Twitch or anything, but yeah, nice crowd out there. Much love. Thanks for everybody joining us. I mean, we're here trying to figure this stuff out, man, because everything is not normal, and there's a reason why it's not normal. And when you have all these countries out here affecting the weather, it's affecting, you know, if we're affecting the atmospheric river here, it's affecting the atmospheric river somewhere else. It's all stringed together. So it's just like a battle of the rivers of the sky. And that's exactly what it is. It's the technocrats trying to steal the water, bottle it up, and make you pay for it. Hey, thanks there, Oregon. So yeah, nothing will run smooth for us, and now the stream's starting to run slow. This is getting pretty crappy here. Let me try something. Let me go check the tropical tidbits. We'll go to something that's not so demanding on the bandwidth here. So we're giving this thing a chance to run, and it's not going to. All right, I'm just going to close that out. Close out some of these resources so we can check the other things. You know, all this is going on in other countries. It's going on over in Europe. We were watching the company, the Weather Generating Magnetic Technologies out of the Middle East. They have been running a cloud ionization program over in Iran, over in the UAE since 2009. Well, they turned their weather generators off back on April 13th. And another company, the Global Trading Company. I've gone over all these companies that affect the weather. And they did their technology, and they flooded Iran out. Like in 20 days, 90% of Iran was underwater. I mean, that's how crazy these people are, and they love that stuff, man. I mean, I can probably go right to their website. I mean, this will blow your mind. This is going on worldwide. It's a rude awakening, but that's what it is. It's an awakening. So here we are. Here's the weather generator project. They've been using their technology since 1995 over here in the Middle East. They say we don't create clouds, we enhance them. And if you notice, they praise the Allah. And what they say here is the hour will not begin until the land of the Arabs once again becomes meadows and rivers. See, they love the floods. They love it flooding. I mean, if this page will load, you can get down here and where the streets are just washing away, and they're all smiling like, hey, we created that rainstorm. These guys created this beast of a storm that went over the Horn of Africa. So right here, June 21st, 2019, exactly 37 days after no activity, our weather generators on ground, we have switched them back on, and rain is promised on the 20th. You know, they're telling you when they turn them off here in the Abu Dhabi. I mean, they do all kinds of crazy stuff, man. This is just one company. There's hundreds of them out here. We've exposed, you know, tons of them. See if I can bring up the other one, see if it's still in my tabs up here. Now the strange thing is I can find these all across the globe, but why can't I find them in the United States? I found some of the private contractors that do the weather programs in the United States, but they keep it all hid, or they use private contractors so that you can't find it. So this is the Climate Global Trading Company, and these guys flat out come out and say that they want to bottle up the water of the sky. They want to steal the rivers of the sky and sell it to you by cryptocurrency. This company is the company that took over for the weather generators company for that month, and then they did their weather experiment over Iran. Anomaly cyclone transfer. Let's see what this is. I haven't been over here in about a week or two, so yeah, they're all together. Creation of a new element of complex program of climate change in the region. Yeah, I'll get into this later. I don't want to read all that crap right now. So if we go up here, we can go check their technologies and descriptions. Yeah, Nestle, they're just as bad, man. Nestle basically took, you know, what's a God-given right, the water, and then they're making you pay for it after they pollute it. See, these guys can command the hurricanes. I mean, they do everything just like everybody else does that uses this technology. You can come check out all their projects over here. Here, I'll post this link if anybody wants to research into this into chat. You know, I just reported on Michigan's water, Flint, Michigan. They first, you know, they sold the people toxic water, and then there's going to be no charges for making the people drink the toxic water. And now what they're doing is they are going to take the people's homes away that's not paying their water bill. I mean, everything is just nuts. All right, let me go ahead and get out of this. Let's see if any of that stuff is loaded. I mean, I've gone over this stuff ad nauseum. So let's check out our invest here. So now they're calling it invest. I know I'm jumping around, but this stuff not working very good is making it a little tougher on us here. Let me make sure that's showing up. Okay. So it's not giving us any kind of tracks. We'll see where these ships are. So we got plenty of ships. Look, there's no ships in the path of where this is going right now. We'll see the buoys. Plenty of buoys out there. So when this thing really gets fired up, we're going to be able to check the buoys and find out the actual wave heights. Let's go ahead and check the mimic, and then we'll check the earth null. Yeah, it's just nuts what's going on here in America, man. We're being targeted. We're being, you know, we're all getting sick. We all have cancer. Everything is poison. The food is poison. You know, they're going to start shoving down all this Franken food on us. The soybean meat, the Petri pan meat, and all this nasty stuff that shouldn't be in our bodies. So very interesting with the atmospheric river. This is what they steer. This is the river of the sky. This is up in the troposphere. And we've watched the guy that I'm going to have on the show here in a couple of weeks. His name's David Miles. He runs a Miles research company, formerly agwnnews. sky blue. He put the fires out in Tasmania, steering the atmospheric river down and put the fires out. There were some mega fires going on in Tasmania. They called him up, and he put the fires out just like he said he would. So, yeah, the atmospheric river out here. Let me get over here to North America. These things should be running like flows, like waves, just like a wave of water, but they're not. They're being pulled. They're being stretched. So, yeah, this thing has definitely been hit with some kind of energy right there. It's like taking a, you can just see the spinning low pressure here. That's going to be full of tons of water. Like I said, man, 2 feet of rain is not going to be far-fetched. So, yeah, I wanted to document that. Let's go ahead and go jump over to the Earth null real quick. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. People ain't going to believe it, but that's why I try to show the articles. I mean, if you go to weathermodificationhistory.com and check out all the articles from when the journalists were actually journalists, and you can see all the articles, man. They were doing electric rainmaking in like 1903. Some of the first weather engineering programs was in the 1800s. I mean, it's crazy, man. The farther you dig down, you're just like, holy crap. And then the more you learn, you're like, holy crap, we don't even have natural weather. There's no such thing as natural weather. They have control of the thermostat. So let me show you something here. Let me see if this will show up. We're going to go here to the sea surface temperatures, and we can see right here the purple. That's off the charts, man. We can go right here and see what this temperature is. We're talking 88.2 degrees Fahrenheit to water. 89.3, so we got really hot water here. Let's check the anomalies. So we definitely have some anomalies. This is where the algae bloom is. This is where the toxic water is. And when we look at the currents, now there's something wrong with the currents right here. Usually these currents should be running all around the coast and up and around, and this is actually being at least I think that's the way it used to run, but the water's not being filtered out. Let me go back a year, see what it looked like last year to see if it's changed. Yeah, it's changed a lot. Like, this is actually the same scenario. The water wasn't being flushed around like a toilet bowl or something. It's just being stagnant in there. Let's go back another year, see what it looked like. Let's go back to 2016. So yeah, same thing. So that's a major issue right there. When you get the water can't circulate in there, that definitely makes a difference. Get it back on now. And then the other thing we need to look at is the dust. So let me get over here to the dust. We've been getting inundated with dust from the Sahara Desert. I mean, it's been pounding us, which is making a bunch of toxic particles into the air, the PM2.5s, PM1s, and this is about the third wave. Now, we watched the first wave come all the way across, all up in the United States, and it took out Hurricane Barbara. I mean, it just disintegrated it. So this is going to be a bunch more little seedlings for the rain. It's like a timing issue. You know, this dust, if it gets up into the storm definitely won't be able to turn into a hurricane, or at least it shouldn't, because it'll be too overseeded. So this is going to be kind of a race between the dust and the storm. That's something I want to check. Let's check the precipitation forecast. It probably won't. So right there, we're looking 2 inches every 3 hours. See if we can go up a little more. Oh, wow. This is what I'm talking about, guys, right here. So almost 3 3/4 of an inch every 3 hours. So that's over an inch an hour. See if we can go up another day. So yeah, pretty much an inch an hour. So depending on how long the storm sits here, you know, I still think we're going to get 2 foot of rain or close to it. So yeah, huge heads up. Let's go ahead and go take a look at the GFS model, see what they did to them, see if they've changed. See, they're starting to say flooding. See, they have no idea what this damn thing's going to do. It's all timing issues. Oh, the other thing I needed to show you before we go any farther. Let me get over on the winds. Now, if you haven't watched my previous broadcast on the polar vortex split back in wintertime, back in like December, you need to go watch them videos, because that Arctic blast we had was completely fabricated, and I show, you know, pretty much 100% how that cold air got parked over the United States. It'll actually blow your mind. All right, so here we are looking at the jet stream, and you notice there is no, I mean, barely a ridge, really no troughs, but they're all up north, or way up north. Like the whole jet stream is bypassing the whole midsection of the United States. You know, it was trying to, and I think the ships out here, they are affecting this jet stream in one way or another. I don't know if they're using the electromagnetics or if it's whatever they're doing. They're definitely affecting this jet stream. In fact, let's see what it looked like last year at this time, just for comparison. So last year it was actually pretty much about the same thing. It was way up in the north. And let me check the vortex layer. But this is a problem. We don't have any big troughs or nothing to push this storm out. And that's where the problem, let me get back on now. So there's really nothing to blow this thing up. I mean, you got this monstrous high pressure out here over the Atlantic. In fact, let me put the pressures on here. So, I mean, you just got a monster high pressure system over here. And when we look at the wind patterns, right here we're at the scalar field level, the vortex level, 500 HPAs. Let's go down to the surface, just see what they're doing. All right, got that documented. Do you want to check the carbon monoxide while we're here real quick, and we'll go into the forecast models. Thanks everybody out there for bearing with me tonight. So here we are looking at the carbon monoxide. Look at all the fires going on in Alaska, up in Canada, and these aren't fires over here. These are like just chemtrails and fire smoke all mixed in. Same thing down here. They're trapping the chemtrail fog over the west coast, all the way up and down. Check the carbon dioxide. Huge high spots there. And then here's the bad stuff, the particulates, the PM 2.5s. These are like carcinogens, and it's actually not looking, it's actually looking better today than it has been, so that's a good thing. All right, so we're a little bit better. All right, let's get out of that. Let's go ahead and check these forecast models, see if they changed. All right, so let me I need to unzoom that just a touch so I can see everything here. All right, so here's the GFS model. Let's just take it up 6 hours at a time. It's Wednesday. So right now we're on Wednesday, July 10th. And here's this thing starting to build up. And it's just going to kind of sit there and strengthen. So we're looking at about 1,000. This is going to be a wind event too, it looks like. So 998. So we're dropping down to 998. And then we're really getting into the heavy amounts of moisture, just like the Earth Null was showing. So this is showing pretty much the same target area as we showed on the 16-day forecast, right into Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, parts of Texas. Now the only difference I'm seeing now is it's not traveling up the East Coast. They got it just kind of sitting there and then taking forever to get over off to the East Coast. So let's go ahead and check the Canadian model real quick, and then we'll check the total amounts of precipitation. So we'll just go up here, just see what this model's showing. Showing about the same pressure. This one's showing it kind of really hitting the border of Louisiana, Alice. So that's millimeters per hour. That's a lot of moisture right there. See, this is the one. See, they're both models now are not bringing it right up the coast. They're bringing it back over the Ohio Valley. Let's check the total precipitable and see if our targets have changed. Wow, look at that. Let me go ahead and crank that up. This is like so this is the Canadian model. This is 240 hours worth of moisture. This is in inches, and we're definitely up into the 20 to 24 inches of rain showing up for Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, going right up into the Tennessee and Ohio Valley. So let's check the GFS model. And let me turn it on up here. Look guys, the main thing is, you know, the storm's coming, And if you're in an area that floods out, wow, how come I can't move? Wow, the program is like trying to update right now. I can't turn it up. Let me go back to the Canadian model, see if it's still there. Wow, that's crazy. So I can't turn it up now because it's updating. We'll check it here in a second. Yeah, we called 2 feet of rain on the Sunday forecast, and it's going to be, you know, it may be over that. It depends on how long it parks there. It depends on if that Sahara dust gets involved. You know, it depends on what they're doing with the spraying programs over here on the West Coast. We're seeing them spray down here in the Gulf of Mexico. You know, the only thing that could possibly happen is they could overseed it. If you overseed the clouds, it's not going to rain. It's just going to turn into chem fog. We see it all the time. All right, let me put this on the Cirrus clouds, which is the chemtrails, and we're going to show you them in action if this thing will load. I'm going to go ahead and close all this crap out and see if we can get this thing to load. Really standing out over here in California, Oregon, Washington area, so we're going to zoom in on this area just so you guys can see what a spraying operation looks like. It looks like grid patterns all up in the sky, and it turns into a blanket. It's blocking the sunlight. Yeah, they definitely, we're still flooded. We're flooded in Missouri. There's tons of people still not in their homes. I mean, it's just ridiculous how bad they flood. They filled every lake up to the very point where the dams almost broke. I mean, that's how close it got. And what we're looking at here, when you look at this real thin, that's the bunker fuel that they're spraying out of the boats. That's bunker fuel. And then you'll see all these strong white lines coming in here. That's the airplanes. We just got to give it a little time here to load. But basically, guys, if you're down in the south, prepare to get out of there before the floods, before the roads go underwater, before any kind of, if there's storm surge, get out of there well in advance. Take a vacation, take a day off of work. You don't want to be caught in this stuff. You've seen what happened in the Midwest. You've seen what happened just over in Washington the other day. These are rain bombs. These are not normal storms. These are manufactured geostorms. So, yeah, definitely crazy stuff. Look at all these aerosols coming in from out there in the Pacific. Tons of aerosols over Northern California, Nevada. You're getting liners all over the place. I really need to zoom in even more because the spraying operations are like a super grid right here in California. Yeah, this gets I mean, if you took off all these aircraft trails, there wouldn't be no clouds over here. If you didn't have the bunker fuel being deployed and you didn't have the aircraft over here, it would be a nice sunny day. It would cool down at night. Look at these lines out here. These are all fake, man-made, synthetic clouds, and it's not just water vapor. That's just a disinformation campaign. I mean, look at this. They're spraying hundreds of planes right here. Back and forth, back and forth. And this is just getting ridiculous. These maps aren't going to load. Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this a show. We're going to play a few songs on the exit screen here. We're going to play a song called Rise. We're going to have to all stand together and rise. We need a pots and pans revolution. And then we're going to play a fight song and then a victory song. I'll come join you in chat. Much love out there. Thanks to everybody who helps us out. Thanks to everybody that shares this information. It's up to us. We're the last generation. That's why we're called Generation X. Anyway, guys, much love. No fear out there. We got the light on our side, going against the dark. Here we go. Let's rise. Crank it up. Maybe. I don't even know if it's going to work.